Page 87, this is harmonization. On page 86 you have some rhythm exercises dealing with eighth note triplets. I don't care what the note is, a triplet is a triplet is a triplet. If you have questions, let me know. I do a counting, I usually do a one enda, two enda. You could say the word triplet, whatever helps you, but you're only doing that to get a feel for it. Afterwards, you don't count it, you feel it. Now, not all those lines on page 86 have triplets in them, so be careful. Usually, you'll have the three notes beamed together and a little three. Sometimes a publisher won't give you the little three. You got to figure out, in order to be rhythmically correct, you got to squeeze three notes in on a beat. Well, that makes it a triplet. Sometimes they put a little curved line over it. Sometimes you get the three and the curved line over it. Just be prepared for whatever. But if you're in 6/8 time, keep in mind they're going to beam three eighth notes together. They're not triplets because an eighth note gets a beat. And it's common in 6/8 time to beam three notes together. It's the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's three notes together, and that's how they would beam them together. Don't have to. You can have 6/8 time, and they could beam just two together at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. That's not very common, though. Most of the time, it's the three. So don't just glance at it and think, oh, it's a triplet because they're beamed three notes together. It may or may not be. And then, of course, you can have triplets in 6/8 time, too, but we won't get into that. Let's talk harmonization. Again, they're giving you the melodies, and they give you the chords to start, and then you get to fill in the rest. Isn't that fine? Okay, let's take the first one. Do the melody. That's one sharp, so it's either in the key of G major or E minor. We're studying minor still, so this is E minor. It ends on an E, and they're telling you the Roman numerals underneath the staff. A one chord is E, so that's it. So it's here. Trust you know the rhythms and can count these out. If not, oops, I should have done that first. Well, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 1 E and a 16th notes 1 E and a. That's all it is. So I get the melody worked out, and then I do the chords. And they're just doing one note. They're doing the one chord is here, but they're using the bottom note. And the 5 chord is here, this one. Remember, we have an F sharp in the key signature. You got to stay within the key signature on these notes. So those are the chords, but they're only using the one chord here. You got to figure out which chord goes with which measure. Well, it's starting out here. And as long as I'm playing the notes in that chord in the melody, I'm going to stick with the chord in the left hand. And 5. And then which chord is it? This? Or, they both sound good. Which one is it? I don't know that there's a right or wrong here, but it kind of depends on the interpretation and what you're after. I could stay with a 5 chord at the end. I mean, we're finishing a phrase. I could stay. It's kind of a little suspension, a little tension at the end of the phrase. I didn't really finish it harmonically. Or I could end up one chord and it finishes it. So the first line could be. No, it's still tension going on. Or. And I resolved it. Different ways of harmonizing things. What are you after? The second line is be almost the same. And then 5. See there, I do want to end on 1, on tonic, and then, again I end on that 5-1 cadence thing. I like to do the chords. I like to hear the whole harmony. I don't want to have to move from here to here. So I'm going to put the B on top. So I go here. To me, that's so much easier to. See, if I play the whole chord in the left hand, you can hear that the 5 chord at the end of the first line doesn't work. So if I do the last 2 measures of the first line playing the chord, it's here. See, if I do that, then the 5 chord does not work at the end. Because that B that I'm playing is in both chords. That's the problem. So it sounds in that case, then I definitely want a 1 chord at the end of the first line. So it's that. There, that makes more sense harmonically. Playing 1 note leaves a lot of just things open as to what it could be. You're filling it in, the listener's filling in a lot of harmony on their own, in their own head. But when you start adding notes, you're telling them now this is the harmony, this is what you need to hear, which could be different than what they're trying to hear. Now there's a note there, they want you to transpose it to F minor. So we're going to go from, what are we in, E minor to F minor. Going to go up. Minor. That means the 1 chord is here, and the 5 chord is here, C minor. And I'm doing that, I'm just playing the same note, fingers. I'm just playing the same fingers for the melody and playing the 1 chord and the 5 chord. What is it? I can do that. I think it's a 1 chord. So I'm just going to transpose it to wherever. I don't care.